There's one person waiting. How funny.
It says the broadcast is live.
It is, I think, working. I don't know. It hasn't clicked onto the TV yet, but we're just going to go with it because we have done our homework. It
And
says
it says
live.
live up at the top.
Yeah, there we go. And it worked.
Yay!
Oh my God, I'm stoked.
I feel like I need
finally
like
did
the
it.
popper things like going off.
Yes, we do. We need like the I'm serious. We need fireworks. I think people are just not aware of this new generation. At least they don't understand. Like, I don't know, for me this is like a win. I have tried so many times, like, I'm not to stand up. I've tried so many times to do this and it's never worked, and now it has. Okay, so topic of conversation. First, I wanted to ask you, do you want to, because I said a little intro last week about the missing person, did you have anyone that you wanted to announce or anything that you wanted to talk about for your nonprofit? Because I figured that was just so cool. Just I put the little flyer up. Any updates maybe, or anybody else we can mention? I just wanted to give you the opportunity, Boo.
So the lady that we were talking about last time, Felicia Martinez, she's still missing. Nothing has been brought up with that. So we're still looking for her. And then Saza Lee out of Longmont, Colorado, he's still missing. And we haven't, nothing else has been brought up on him. So we're still trying to find information on him as well. I would say those are the two cases right now. And I can send you their flyers.
Cool. I was just going to say I could do that every week. Just put the flyer on every week because you never know who happens to catch it. Okay, sure. So we will jump right into it. I wanted to, we'll go off on different subjects, but I wanted to ask you about the subject we were talking about, you know, I guess I should ask you first. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody or an interview in which you found a question to be completely putting you off? Like, it just was a rude, or made you feel like a little bit offended, or anything that was shown to you to be maybe skeptical? Have you ever been put in a position where it was just a non-good vibe of a feeling when they asked you a question about your near-death experience?
I would say for the most part, no. I, like we talked about last time, I don't tend to look at comments or anything. I just kind of roll with everything. But I did end up seeing one comment, and it was something about it was my near-death experience story is too perfect. And it sounds like it's me trying to have my 15 minutes of fame. So that one, I guess, is the only one, and the one that kind of stuck out when you bring that question to me. That's the one I think about.
I was going to say, talk about that. Let's talk about comments, because that's totally separate, obviously, than someone like Jeff Mara as the interviewer and the interviewee. But, you know, that's been something that I still find it to be extremely hard and struggle with. Just yesterday, I have no idea what this means. So if this person is watching, they're stalking. There is this gentleman who is putting on comments that, like, this is one of the comments: fake news. And then another comment on my spirit animal video is like, hater nation. And I'm like, wait, are you saying that you're the hater nation? And then he says, I'm the stand-up guy for hater nation. So I'm like, blocked. So it's very hard to not give it energy. I definitely do much better than I was before, but it does, especially, I guess, when me and you are trying to talk about not Legos. We're not talking about, you know, our nail polish. We're talking about something that means something to us. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that is, how do you find, you've always been like that? You just don't look at the comments. How do you fight that urge, that curiosity to, and also the urge to, because you said you found some beautiful comments on there as well. So that would be neat too. How do you fight the urge to stay away?
Well, so originally I just stay away because I'm used to negative feedback, whether it's because of my weight or whatever. So I immediately just assume there's going to be haters and I don't want to read it, so I just stay away. How I came upon that was the video that was taken from the interview, and it was posted. I just happened to see the first comment on there, and it was like something about really helped me or something very positive. So then I was
Awesome.
like, well, maybe I will keep reading because there was only 60 comments or something like that. And I can read, 200 comments in a Facebook thread that you're watching two people argue about. So 60 isn't that many.
I gotta like Dougie with you. I gotta dance with you on the Facebook because I was wondering about that, about Facebook. If you do read the comments and ever, get affected in that way regarding anything, whether or not it's your nonprofit or whether or not it's like you're sharing your story. Do you also ignore the comments on Facebook?
Well, it depends. So
Mm.
most of the time, um, I have to look at the comments, especially on the justice page, just because
Okay.
I don't know if the comments are going to be relative to the case. I don't want to miss anything, or it could be somebody that I need to look at. They say that sometimes the people that are closest to the case are the ones that are monitoring it because
Like
they're
the
the ones that did
perpetrator,
it.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I keep that in mind. And so most of that kind of stuff. But honestly, there's not a whole lot of negative that most people don't. I mean, I haven't had, honestly, I don't think any negative comments that were on Justice Takes Flight
Yeah.
for
That
anything
is
like that.
that's a really good reason for the groups. I was going to say probably not in support groups either, right? Like the ones we're trying to get my mom in. Like when you go into grief support, who would go in there? You never say never, but who would go in comments because the moderator would just get them out right away anyway, right? Like,
Exactly. It's pretty quick to get them out. And the only time that I've ever had negative comments towards Justice Takes Flight is when we've done a case with another company or another person, and that person is in it for the wrong reasons. I'm not going to say names or anything, but
yeah,
we've had a couple of different uh, so-called search and rescue teams that have we tried to partner with and we tried to work together to find this person, and they made it all about themselves and lied about us, lied about what we
they
did or
wanted
didn't
notoriety
do. Exactly. They just want their 15 minutes of fame. And after,
to
I
promote
mean,
their business too, probably, which is so rude. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, I
but
get you.
normally those comments are on their pages and I'm usually banned from their pages, so I don't see any of it.
Trolls
So,
that troll and they ban other people. I'm telling you, oh my gosh,
yeah.
it's just so bad. It happens to everyone. There's this really nice woman on here, Casey Detox, and okay, so she had a gastro bypass and she really had medical reasons. She had it, and she's promoting it, self love, and she's talking so kind on her page, and it just was so crazy to me. But it also was enlightening, and it helped me a lot on my journey, like a year and a half ago, because that was happening to me. When she reached out and said, you know what? Oh, I feel so terrible, all these haters, coming to I said, what? She's just the nicest, you know what I mean? And it blew my mind that somebody was talking about a health issue and talking about, she was very humble and nice and she's Christian. And I just was like, my Lord, if there's going to be like people that they're going to go to every single thing possible. And then I scared myself a couple times over the past like 2 years. I don't know if you've done this. I just go to a random video, let's say Mariah Carey or AC/DC. Okay, there's trolls in there saying the most god awful. I'm serious. Like, you're so and so looks like so and so, and I'm going, what drives people to do these kind of things if they really, are not connected? I just feel like people get a high off, like we do. We get this joy and uplifted vibe off of helping people. I think that there's the opposite. Unfortunately, they get a high off of degrading people.
I think they're that what was it called? Soulless.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't
That
remember
is
what it's called.
the list was she had sent me a meme and the list was talking about soulmates, talking about twin flame relationships, the difference between a karmic relationship and
Yeah.
ancestors. Yeah. So the karmic
There was
relationship,
another one. There was a soulless portal.
a portal. Yeah, that's what there you go.
Yeah.
There's the word, was it. That was interesting because you know what? I've never heard of that before. I have never heard of that. I think that was alluding to the fact that there is going to be some discord in this lifetime, but it's real bad discord. And we are just trying to teach each other a lesson, but we're never going to have a soul connection throughout lives. Is that what I gathered?
I take it as it's a person that you come into contact with, or it's a person that drains your purpose or counteracts
Oh,
it, to the fact that, like, so say you are, for instance, say I'm working on my nonprofit and trying to do good, and I am with somebody who is anti that.
yeah.
Like, maybe it's a portal into, you keep going back and you keep sliding back into not being able, kind of stuck in a rut.
Yes, that hamster wheel for
So it,
sure.
it kind of like portals you back to.
Keeps you
That's kind of
running.
how
Like,
I took it. Yeah.
yeah, that one, you know what? We should do like, I'll read like a paper on that. We should do a whole an episode over that, because I've often been confronted with this download that is like this. I'm not saying that there are human beings on this earth that don't have a spirit. However, I think that their purpose, almost like Judas in the Christianity, to turn Jesus in or whatever, I feel like people might literally have soul contracts and purposes to come down to do nothing else but to try to steer you away and to make you become disengaged with your purpose of raising your vibe. I mean, you know what I mean? And it's like, that helped me a little bit to not, excuse the world for what they do, but
Well, and the way that I kind of maybe look at it is, if this is level 0 and this is AKA hell, or, the beginning,
at least
maybe,
purgatory. Yeah.
yeah, maybe the soulless portals are people that have not, or maybe they've done bad in a previous life, or maybe they've not learned what they needed to, and they're themselves are stuck, and they have, their negative goal is to do that, but
Yes.
our goal coming down is to try to bring them out of it, perhaps.
Damn, yes. That, you're such a beautiful soul. That is, I have chills. That is a very good perspective. That is 100% resonating with me. 100%. Because I'm fascinated about all of the interconnection and things that we do, the ripple effects that we always talk about. It's so intriguing. But that is intriguing, because it would be a complete light and dark balance. We almost, I guess, with our blinders on, we almost wouldn't be knowing that we're teaching each other that lesson. But boom, there it is, because that other person who is trying to inflict negativity, as many times as you bounce it back and create a momentum for your purpose, and you still stay positive, that's good vibes that are going on them. And how people, even when they're so bitter and cranky, they sometimes, like Scrooge, you know what I mean, like, you take a look, like, wait, it'll affect them. So that is interesting, and that we could talk for so long about. I think that it's really simply put, the meme that you showed me, but it's so true as far as what I understand. You can label it whatever, but I've been bullied about this right here, and I wanted to ask you the question about soulmates. So I had an experience, which I can tell you on another podcast, where it was the first mean telepathy, like, that was direct, when I had my third daughter. You'd think my first, second, no, my third daughter. It was telepathy experience. And so basically, oh my gosh, I forgot for the first time where I was going with that. No. I was going to ask you a question about soulmates. I'm like,
Finally, it wasn't me. Finally, it wasn't me this time.
forever and go, uh. Dude, that was big time. I was all like looking helpless. No, but I recovered. It's about soulmates. So I'm speaking about Deanna's birth, because when that day happened was the first time that it ever came into my heart. I was like, holy shit. I think soulmates don't have to just be one person. I think that it could be your, like, you, me, or my daughter and I think it could be different people in your soul family group. And so I wanted to ask you that. Do you think a soulmate is strictly just one person, and it is your partner that you're, intimate with? Or do you think that, I really do feel like we can have multiple soulmates, and I feel that the soulmate is just kind of like another word to say a higher bond, not anything better than, but a higher bond of connectivity and understanding, that they're like team you, like, all, it's never any kind of like soulless or karmic type of. So what do you think about, like, soulmate is one or more?
So first, I have to ask a question then. W- Like, so say between like us,
Yes.
what would be the difference between twin flame
Oh,
and soul mate?
I on that. Okay,
Because
so
I don't
no,
understand that.
go ahead. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this. Is so profound because I had okay, so my accelerated awakening in 2016. There was a time in which there was everybody, including myself, wondering and Googling on their own these symptoms or experiences. And when you Googled it or researched it in library, it would come up to be twin flame. Now, this is there's a lot of people that have different opinions. This is truly what I've done a lot of journaling and just thinking about this. The twin flame, in my opinion, is somebody who comes into your life unexpectedly. They may be somebody who you maybe ordinarily wouldn't be attracted to. It's definitely you're attracted to them sexually and intimately, sensually, and it's undeniable is the word I use for it. It's undeniable to the point where if you are both usually in a relationship of a karmic relationship, or the age difference is vast, or it is like somebody is poor, like I would grow up in the ghetto or something, and this person would grow up in Beverly Hills, and so the demographics or affluency or whatever not is not, or a location, like maybe they met on the internet and you're from Taiwan in America. So there's some sort of what I consider to be roadblocks that are put in these relationships, but it's kind of like the quintessential, in my opinion, love at first sight, right? Like undeniable thing where you're like, I know and you can say a lot with your eyes. And this is what I've told friends and like past little private clients, and they're like, oh, I'm going to use that. I want to say right here is your third eye, right? I want to say when you come in contact with a twin flame, I feel like their soul is like tattooed on your forehead because you can't get them out of your mind. And it's not just that crush thing. It's a curiosity. I almost think that you're remembering past lives with them or something to that effect, because it is so profound. And in my opinion, a lot of people, a lot of friends, a lot of people, it's like you can be a completely moral person, not looking for anything. Let's say you're in a relationship or not, or in a different, like I said, demographic or whatever the case may be, the difference of age, maybe 30 years, who knows? It may seem so impossible, but it still doesn't stop you from daydreaming and doing all the things that like maybe this fresh new love would be. So this twin flame thing is really intriguing because I've, like I said, done all the kind of talking and thinking and journaling, and I love that I had a lot of private clients just go, hey, I haven't told anybody about this, but yada yada. And it was so intriguing to see the common denominators in the beginning of 2016, and goes on and on. How many people, especially people who are like more logical, they're like, but why can't I get that person off my mind when I'm not going to be with them because I'm with my husband? You know what I mean? It's like they are so logical trying to go, but what is this? And so I think this is what my true opinion is. People will hate me for this. Most twin flames do not end up like being in a committed marriage relationship for the long term. Now, am I saying they don't get together? No, they probably, maybe I see them at the old folks home, or maybe they make it work and they break all kind of road barriers, like I said, and they take on the shit that's going to go down, whatever it is, and they'll be together. But I feel like the purpose of a twin flame is because you are so in love, for the lack of better terms, in eternal existence, that the person shows up, is my point. And it is either when you just have had a crazy experience, like a near-death experience, or a epiphany, a spiritually transcendent experience. I feel that person is there either right before, right there, right around the same time, and they are like a generator to your battery that's kind of blown, because you're like, what is going on? And so they don't say into words, or they don't say, hey, are you into this and this and that, or are you seeing 1111? But both the people will start to really see signs and synchronicities at the same time, and the other person will communicate, whether it's like verbally straight up to your face, like, oh, I can't get you off my mind, or if they will just communicate by still showing up. It's like this person will, even if you think that, oh, I'm never going to see that person, they'll show up 3 years later, and on purpose. And so there's a theme that has to do with twin flames too, where it's running, and the runner and the chaser, because it's such a profound, undeniable attraction. We'll just keep it like that, keep it simple, attraction, that one or the other, and it usually flip-flops. It could be one person predominantly, it could be the runner, and then one's like chasing them going, oh, text me, you haven't texted me, or just wondering about that person, trying to call, trying to look up videos about them. And the other person is totally having them tattooed on their thing, but they're just sitting there like with a furrowed brow and avoiding the phone calls because it's too much, and they're maybe, it's throwing them for a loop, because the power of seeing someone mirrored exactly like you and accepting you for who you are in the soul level, the twin soul, twin flame, is powerful. And it sometimes, like I said, there's such huge roadblocks that people don't want to get caught up in cheating, or they don't want to have to be the bearer of someone who is unable to have someone permanently in this physical, and so that is the best explanation I can tell you. But let me tell you, there's a lot of people like out there that have gone through this whole research and believed in it, and then now they're like, no, there's no such thing. I just think it's another way to label something. I do know that concept exists. There's too many people that I've seen in the last 5 years that have the same, not the same, but the same kind of common denominators, I call it, like commonalities, where I'm like, that just blows my mind. It's always real cool things too. Like for instance, two people I can think of, one girlfriend and one private client, they had dreamt of this person before, like a week before, that they come in contact with them, and then that just in itself floored them, because they had soulmate or karmic, they had husbands, and so it really, sometimes it shakes you, and then I think that is also a part of the spiritual awareness and leveling up, is that it's kind of teaching you that there are some things in this world that are stunning, and you weren't expecting, and that you kind of really have to, like my UFO, you have to just be like, wow, that is what it is. A lot of times, a lot of people, they spend their wheels trying to say, no, what is logical? This is ridiculous. Let me get this off of my mind. You know what I mean? And it just is something I think is like an undeniable bond. And okay, so the big difference though, twin flames, me and you couldn't be, because we would be already, I would have flown to your house already and told people, hey, she's mine. And it's about real hot sex. Like, I'm very open. If you're not comfortable, you don't have to on the thing, but I'm saying it is all about like that spark and intimacy. And it is not only that though, it's kind of like this perfect sexual attraction because of how deep you see into their eyes. And that's another thing, is the whole thing where you look them in their eye, and it's just undeniably personal and really, really intriguing. And it just, again, it just baffles people. And it's like, the number one question I get from friends or clients or my cousin is like, does that other person think the same way? It's driving me crazy. Am I crazy? Is this person? And I've heard it so many times, it makes me feel better that, nope, it's true. They do, because I've also had not too many. I think I have like maybe 1/3 of male clients, but it floored me that most, I will say 60% easy of the people that I had a reading with at one point during the emails or the reading will ask me about, what do you know about twin flame? And it'll come out, I won't know their partner, but at least that's another male or, divine masculine that's admitting this and saying, hey, this is weird. So it's not just females that are coming up with this concept, is my point. So yeah, then the soulmate is just someone who is like, with you for millions of lifetimes, or whatever, how many lifetimes. Right. And it's someone who, is there for your better good. I think it is, in comparison to a karmic relationship, is someone you may have been in my opinion, you may have been a soulmate previously too, but there's been so many karmic, discords, that now it's like you were saying about the soulless thing. It's like you guys are teaching each other a lesson till one is brave enough to do that whole, if you love something enough, set it free, that type of thing. So it's very intriguing, because that has been definitely a question that I ponder with myself, is about my husband. Is it karmic? Is it this? Is that? I always tell people when they stress out about that, about asking me what it is, I'm like, forget the labels, but look at the theme. The themes that they're trying to say, it just fits a certain peg in a square hole. Does that make sense? Like, right. So, whether or not you buy into it or not, that's another story. But I do find it so intriguing that there's commonalities in different relationships based on those themes, So, yeah. Anyway.
So I totally had it backwards.
Okay. You had it backward, like you thought soulmate was the.
I thought soulmate was twin flame and twin flame was soulmate.
Okay, when is the first time, I'm curious as heck, when is the first time, because I can't believe we never talked about this, when's the first time you heard about the term twin flame? I'm just curious.
Well,
because mine was 2016, was fairly recently. I mean, that's a while back, but I just had not heard it for my entire life. And, I'm 44, so I guess that would be, up until I was like 39, I had not heard this term. And then it was intriguing because I had done the whole thing that a lot of people do. You go and Google, things, and then it pops up. Oh, hi, this is a twin flame.
I guess I would say probably like 2008-ish.
Okay. I heard, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You heard the term itself, like soulmate and twin flame?
Well, I mean, soulmate I've known for, you know what soulmate is from, whatever. But
little, yeah.
twin flame, I think I met this girl that we met very quickly at school, at culinary school, and we ended up having the same birthday. And she would call us twinsters. And I think that is when I looked into like I think that's where the twin flame kind of first originated from.
Yeah, I'm really open, by the way, too, with like as far as same sex. So I'm just gonna say it absolutely doesn't have to be male and female. And I wanted to say what I call that right there. If you weren't into, like I find women attractive, whatever. I'm in a heterosexual relationship, but I'm saying, like if I was single, I'm saying there is, for me, there is this term I call insta besties. Or kindred spirits, like where you're like,
yeah, it was more like that, I would say. For me, I think for her it might have been twin flame.
Yeah,
but
I have one of those stories. Yeah, no, but seriously, that I think that the twin flame truly, in my opinion, is someone who just is the purpose throughout probably multiple lifetimes, is to ignite you, is to ignite that purpose and that path, and that or to turn you around. Some people, their life path is to be there for others and not to end their life, or let's say, or something like that, or not to be an addict forever. They can kick you by, this is the kicker, by showing you exactly the same thing. So let's say you meet tomorrow, someone is a twin. They're like, if I was doing the pills, they would be like a mad, crazy alcoholic, and I'd be like annoyed by it, and then go, wait a second, twin, I do that, and so it kind of reboots you because you love them so much, and you're like, wow. It's said to be like a mirror reflection of your good and bad traits. You know what I mean? So intriguing. That is a
so
topic.
What's karmic then?
So karmic is where the cord. Have you heard this term? The cord needs to be cut or whatnot. They're not talking about the silver. They're talking about that there has been the same cycle, karmic cycle, over and over, and you're just like going in this hamster wheel. You're treading water because both of you are unable to evolve soul level and spirit wise. I think I'm like getting so much channeled. Thank you, spirits. I'm serious. I sound like legit today instead of just like laughing. No, but I'm saying it's like it's something that unfortunately, or fortunately, because it's all beautiful and for good, something that is just gonna, both people are going to either be stifled or they're going to stay in this same position without evolving their soul into a more educated or experienced place, what they want to. And it could be as simple as, I've thought about this before, could be as simple as nothing's wrong, but both of them have another purpose that in other lifetimes or this one would not be conducive. The other person wouldn't like, I don't know, that spirit shit you're doing, you know what I mean? Like, they're just not in it. And so I'm not saying it's detrimental, but I do know from like a past mentor named Dolores and other people that I've talked to throughout this whole process of going, what is this? What is spiritual awakening? All this stuff. It is something of a gift. That's why I think it's one of the most, tough ones, just like Earth is a tough level. I think that's one of the most tough assignments you can give yourself if you want to make it out that way, because it's doing that gift, both of you doing a gift of, oh, I will let go of this profound love, because it is a profound type of, you know, bond that is through the spirit, the soul. And so I think it's that, you know, which is hard for me, that whole letting go of attachments thing, the Buddha thing, you know, we're not supposed to be attached. And that's my main thing. And I will admit that, you know, till I die, I'm, you know, I struggle with that, because I know that there's unhealthy attachments. I know that there's codependency. I know all that. But as far as unconditional love, I teeter back and forth. I do really, truly feel that there's something with unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, things like that. So I think the karmic is where you might have a bunch of love, but you're a detriment to them, or vice versa, or both usually, I think, are detriment in some sort of way. And it could either even just be that you are meant to be independent in this life and the next life, and that's going to be better for you. And so you'd be tied up, you know, it's the karmic relationships intrigue me, because, you know, for me being a whiner, it's like, well, if you love somebody, why would you let them go? You know, that's just the old me, right. You know, I'm like, what? Oh, you know, like the violins get out, but I mean, it's serious. That I've also been told can be a big, Dolores, again, a plug her, a big thing could be sister relationships, okay, siblings, mother-daughter, sometimes mother-daughter, of course, soulmates and stuff, but karmic relationship, because me, naively, as a 20-year-old, like I was having my first baby, I thought, this is it. Baby's gonna love me forever. We're gonna be best friends until every day of my life, and they're gonna be by my side. It's like, that was completely naive. Yes, I'm not gonna be not close with my eldest daughter, but it's truly like different between each three kid, how much involvement that they want to have, you know, with me. For instance, my daughter she'll say it on live, so I'll just say it. She told me when I was like helping my mom through some things with suicide, you know, after my dad's death, she's like, Mom, I would like, if you ever like had dad die and you were like being all depressed and stuff, I would give you like 3 months in my house, and I'd be like, I love you, you gotta go to and
she says that now serious. Though
she's dead serious, and I'm like, oh. And then Deanna, my youngest, is like me, she's like, you know, but it's like, it's not a bad or good thing. I just did not realize, and I should have. There's plenty of people in my extended family that I can see, not for any intent and purpose, but they were not as chemistry, you know, entangled and conducive to, you know, getting along with some of their relatives opposed to others. So I think that the karmic thing can be a real, you know, I'm not saying cut the cord completely between a sister and a sister, or a mother and a child, but having that knowing and feeling the disengagement of not doing like, oh, I don't like you, but just kind of, okay, I'm going to detach a little bit so it can be of a work. I think that is also honoring the karmic relationship purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me, sensitive ass person,
right?
But yeah, but I can see that with my mom and her sister, and I can see that. So it's intriguing to me. I'm glad you sent that meme. I'm glad that you sent that meme. Because
I saw that and I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah, that is so neat. I love that. And I'm interested. I always like speak on stuff, but I'm like you, I always love to get more information and absorb more information, and just different times like that. I mean, different things like that. Like when we're talking about the timelines and those things still got me. I subscribed to some Mandela thing on YouTube, and they still got me with as soon as they upload a new one, I'm like, let me see. Let me see it. It just fascinates me that it always seems to be like 50% of the people view something one way, you know, and the other view it another way. It's fascinating.
Crazy.
It's so crazy. Okay, so this is off the relationship topic, but I won't ask you all those other questions I wrote down in the thing about what a not me interviewer would ask that's kind of pushing the envelope. But I wanted to say, like, with, let's say you had someone that was, I don't know, friends, mothers, sisters, whatever, they were angry at their person for committing suicide, and then they don't think their person is in a better place. They're just so bitter, and they think that they're in hell. So what about this? What if they asked you, so what if you went into the different levels and you couldn't stay with your family because you were going to a suffrage place. You know what I mean? How would you handle a person that was asking you that out of a place of pain is what I wanted to ask you. I don't know if that's too tough of a question, but I was like thinking if you've ever had anybody that kind of takes it like that just because it's such a sensitive thing, like my DUI, very sensitive, man. I've definitely lost respect, you know, friends and things like that. So have you ever had anyone that kind of is in that place of grief or kind of just really is, you know, wanting to discount your experience or just put, I guess, projection of negativity because of what they believe or, you know, have experienced?
Most of the ones that I've talked to that are kind of like that, they're searching for answers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not trying to talk me out of what I've said. They're trying to get, I guess, clarification or answers. So
Yeah.
if somebody came up to me and said that, I would just, I mean, that specific question, I would explain to them what the voice told me going from level 2 to 3, that they said that, you know, my family couldn't come, but I had this feeling, or maybe it was telepathy. Somehow I knew I was able to see them again. And that even though they can't go up a level, I can go down. So I wasn't concerned about that. And then when I went to the 3rd level, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was what
better,
I
right?
thought. It
Like
was
it
even
was,
better, yeah. So, I mean, you know, and if they wanted to say, well, behind that, it could have been a charade, or, you know.
you froze, sweet love. If you can hear me, you just froze. You know what? I'm still on. I don't think we went over on our time like last time on the Zoom. I'll give it a minute. I should just like learn how to use my phone at the same time to text. Here, Dalt, do we have a chat room in this? Let me see. Let me see if we have a chat, because I might go get myself something to drink. Well, let me see. Private chat. There we go. Okay, you froze, beautiful. Gonna get a drink. Be back if you jump on back on. If not, good tea sipping today. It's all private chat and I'm reading it aloud. Tea sipping today. Okay, I love you, Brit. You were like Brittany is literally, oh, how do I get